Hi, Rosie, it's your Grandpa Rob. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I'll get Lucas to check it later. Make sure you can actually hear me, because knowing my luck, I've recorded 2 hours of the ceiling. I'm making this because, well, I'm 73 years old, and I've been thinking a lot lately. There are things I want you to hear, things I wish somebody had sat me down and told me a long time ago. Everything you think you know about getting older is probably wrong. And I thought I knew too. Oh, I was sure I knew. You know, I spent the first 50 years of my life just going along, believing all the things you're supposed to believe. Work hard, get the house, earn the respect. I thought I had it all figured out. I really did. Then when I was 52, my heart tried to kill me. I was sitting in some meeting talking about numbers. I don't even remember what the numbers were, and the room just started spinning. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in a hospital bed, and I just remember lying there thinking, what have I been doing? Not really living, just going through the motions, checking boxes to keep everybody else happy. You know, I grew up in a house where you didn't question things. And your great-grandpa was a deacon, serious man. And I remember was reciting Bible verses before I could even tie my shoes. Everything was very much black and white back then. You knew the rules, you followed them, end of story. By the time I was 23, I'd ended up working in a printing shop in Chicago. Big, noisy machines, you had to really pay attention or you'd lose a finger. That's where I met Tom. After our shift, we'd go get a beer somewhere. Nothing fancy. Just two young fellas unwinding. And that was the start of 57 years of friendship. 57 years. Can you imagine that? Back then, I had this idea that success was like a ladder. You just keep climbing. So that's what I did for 30 years. And Rosie, when I finally got to the top, I want you to remember this. The ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. I made partner, bought the big house, and for about 48 hours, I felt on top of the world. Then it just wore off. And I was back to chasing the next thing. Always telling myself, when I make a bit more money, then I'll be happy. When the kids are grown, then we'll travel. Always then, never now. Your grandmother, Susan, God, we were married 41 years. 41 years. And I thought we had a good marriage. We were comfortable, you know. But comfortable is really just a nicer word for lazy, if I'm being honest. She'd suggest things, little things, a pottery class, dancing lessons, a trip to Scotland. Her grandmother was from there, and she always wanted to go and see it. And I always had some reason why not. Too busy, too expensive. Maybe when we retire, Sue, I thought as long as I was paying the bills and being faithful, well, that was the job done, wasn't it? It wasn't. We sort of ended up like two people, just living parallel lives under the same roof. Then the cancer came. 4 months, Rosie. 4 months from healthy to gone. In those last weeks, she said to me, she called me Robert when she was being serious. You know how she did that? She said, Robert, we wasted so much time being right instead of being close. I think about that sentence a lot. I wasn't a good husband. I was an adequate one. I showed up. I met the minimum requirements. But I didn't build anything. There's a difference. Then I lost Tom. And when your best friend of nearly 60 years goes, part of your own history just goes with him. He was the last person left who knew me when I was young. Now, who remembered who I used to be? Now I sit here in this house and it's just quiet. And the quiet has a way of reminding you of all the times you chose work or someday over the person standing right in front of you. My regrets aren't about business. Not one of them. None of that stuff matters. What keeps me up at night is the trip to Japan I kept putting off. My brother, I let that relationship just drift away and I never pulled it back. And my own father, I kept thinking I'd call him when things slowed down a bit. He died when I was 45, very suddenly. We never had the conversation I always thought we'd get around to having. I found a journal your grandmother kept after she was gone. Reading it was like reading about a stranger. She wrote about feeling like she was screaming and nobody could hear her. And I was right there, Rosie, right there in the same bed. I might as well have been on the moon. I didn't mean to hurt her. I just got lazy. I just kept thinking we had all the time in the world. We don't, sweetheart. Nobody does. So if I could reach back and talk to myself at 30, or talk to you right now, I'd say, stop trying to impress people who don't matter. Stop wearing yourself out for your career. Stop saving the good stuff for someday. Say yes to the pottery class. Say yes to the silly thing your person is asking you to try. It costs you a little time, a little money, and it means everything to them. I know that now. Mattering, real mattering, the kind that actually counts, it's quiet. It's the letter you actually sit down and write. The phone call you make on a Tuesday afternoon for no reason other than you were thinking of someone. The goalposts always move. Always. You hit one thing, you want the next. You can spend your whole life running towards something just out of reach while everything that actually matters slips right past you. So stay curious, stay humble, and for heaven's sake, be kind. If you've got a friend you haven't called in a while, call them. Don't just assume they'll always be there. If you love somebody, don't just show up, be present. There's a difference between being in the room and actually being there. Someday is today, Rosie. It always was. I don't know when you're watching this. I don't know what's going on in your life right now. But if you're waiting for things to calm down before you start really living, I can tell you from experience, that day never comes. Life is always going to be messy and complicated and busy. Don't wait for it to sort itself out. The clock is ticking, sweetheart. I love you very much. Tell Lucas I love him too.